Good afternoon to everybody who's joining us, assuming it's afternoon in all regions. My name is Tunga Mafunga. I'm responsible for sales in the actives and formulation division at Merck, responsible for sub-Saharan Africa. I've been with Merck for roughly 8 years, and within the pharma processing industry for the past 10 to 12 years. When David shared the agenda and told me I had 10 minutes, I did not reply to his email. I was trying to see what I could fit within the discussion, and sort of highlight at a very high level what we as a supplier and hopefully other suppliers are doing within the industry to assist or create a platform for different for manufacturers to develop products, whether be it in Africa or in Europe. The first question is who are we? Most of you would most probably identify us as somebody who sells raw materials, and that is one of the areas we focus on. However, we offer far more services than that, where we look at API development, formulation of products, and the manufacturing services with our clients. How I structured the presentation, I looked at key challenges and market trends. And when I'm out looking for new business opportunities, one area I tend to focus on is the R&D within the industry, looking at the R&D pipeline, which molecules people are looking at, and which develop for the next few years. And I would like to say, unfortunately, in our area, this, even with existing large pharma manufacturers, this is a very scarce or there's very limited R&D in our continent. Looking at most of our manufacturers are either manufacturing under license or they are buying dossiers and following the dossier of the molecule owner. So I tried my presentation to sort of focus on developing local R&D capabilities. I think this is key, especially to building the local pharma industry, and in future to take advantage of the generic market and to start developing our own generic molecules and stop even buying or importing dossiers for generic molecules. So from my side, what I did look at are key market initiatives we as a supplier have sort of driven in the past 5 years, plus or minus. And there are four main areas where we look at where we are looking at the formulation application lab. We've linked to that, we've come up with a formulation handbook. We also offer CDMO services and regulatory support for all our raw materials. And I'm hoping in future we have more local players tapping into these services to build their local capabilities. Looking at the application lab, the question is, why an application lab? What do we do with our application lab at Merck? This initially started with our facility in Darmstadt, where basically we did formulation to test out our excipients, and also where some of your larger customers would come and would partner with them in developing specific excipients to meet their requirements. So our application labs basically are used for research partnerships, technical support, and training workshops. And the picture below sort of shows in detail some of the work we have done, where we look at formulation development, proof of concept, generic product development, and the like. And actually, just on the generic product development, my colleagues in India have actually taken this a step further and are looking into an area where they have a generic pipeline, where basically in this area they identify molecules whose IP or license is coming to an end, and then they help local manufacturers to formulate their own generics. So we offer formulation application assistance in the drug product development, whether you're looking at pre-formulation or scale up to append dossier submission. So we have services that that are available there. With our application labs, we basically have 3 sites, one in Darmstadt, which is the oldest, and past few years we've opened 2 labs in Mumbai and Shanghai. And these are facilities where customers might not have full R&D centers or might not have partners who they are working with. They reach out to us and say, Tunga, I've got this API. I would like to formulate a low dosage oral disintegrate, and then based on the data we have collected over the years, we can easily screen for the different excipients or lubricants that one can use to then come up with a formulation, instead of someone going in trial and error to try and come up with we have quite a huge database which we can easily refer to and identify molecules that the best combination that one can go with. The idea is to help you develop your molecule faster and leverage our global network and the 350-year history that Merck has. Out of these formulation application centers, in the past couple of years, we have published a formulation handbook, which is basically an R&D guide, which serves to guide you in molecule development. The idea is, just as I've explained, instead of you spending months or years trying to come up with the best formulation, some of these products are general and they've been around for years, and the information is readily available. And so that is what we compiled. This is sort of an ongoing project. I think when we started, the document was about only 100 pages. Now I think it's the latest one is most probably 174 pages or something. Just a quick example on the next slide of what this entails. We take, for example, ibuprofen, 200 milligrams. We basically show you the physical characteristics of the model API, formulation composition type, and the amount of API and excipients used. Manufacturing descriptions, detailed descriptions of the formulation process, and also the results table, which shows tablet properties, dissolution data, and etc., etc. So we have, to be honest, I stand corrected, we have more than 150 molecules currently in that formulation guide, which is quite a tool that some of our manufacturers have found quite useful, especially from an R&D perspective. Another area I sort of wanted to jump into briefly is on contract manufacturing. That is our CDMO services. Basically, over time, we've had customers who come with specific products and specific molecules that are not available in the correct quantity in the market, or maybe there is no significant demand for them except for that one particular client. And basically with this, we're able to then in conjunction with the customer, custom manufacture specific products that they might require in their process. And basically we have capabilities coming from grams to tons, and we are focusing on specialized technologies. One thing I wanted to highlight, I know today's focus is more on solid dosage manufacturing, but I thought during this time it would be an interesting just to highlight. Last year we sort of acquired a company called Amtech, which was which was one of the leading manufacturers of synthetic nucleotides. And basically, with the development of the COVID vaccine, we have seen a significant jump in CDMO's service requests from the different manufacturers for messenger RNA and for lipids. And to be honest, what this allows these manufacturers is to focus on the technologies that they are experts in and rely on us as a partner to deliver on a section of the process. So we are quite involved in the current vaccine manufacturing, supplying mRNA and lipids to the different manufacturers. As I think the prof indicated earlier, at the end of the day, I think the trend within the industry is moving more towards partnerships, and where you have different players coming together and providing a solution instead of going it alone. And I think we, as a supplier to the market, it's something we have realized and are putting in measures in place. And our strategy also sort of looks at how we can offer better services to our customers. One area which we needed to look at is ultimately quality. To like say, yes, you have all these technical applications, but we all know within the pharma industry, the issue is always quality documentation and documentation. What we have with most of our raw materials and products used in the pharmaceutical manufacturing sector, basically we have what we call the Improve program. The idea with the Improve program is to offer overall regulatory support and comprehensive documentation for you to navigate the regulatory challenges. That is basically most of the information you would require when compiling your dossier, your stability data for your raw materials, your quality management system, your analytical procedures, and a whole lot of product quality reports. So we basically have a product called the Improve program, where basically one can access different this information nicely in CTD format for all our raw materials, basically to support you with your regulatory challenges and allow speed to market in terms of you delivering these to your local regulatory bodies. And the nice part with this, because I've attended some sessions in Europe where we've partnered up with regulatory bodies and with customers, where everyone sort of attends, and as a supplier we share what we are doing as a supplier to sort of address the ever-changing regulatory requirements within the markets. And so the Improve program has been quite critical, and it's something that we're always working on to try and address and sort of guess where the regulatory trends are moving towards. And this has been quite a significant part of our development as a supplier of material. I think I've taken quite a bit of time. Thank you very much, David. Let me.
Yeah, so we can get a few questions. What I like is, and this is something that we are not really good at in Africa, even though we are lions, right? Because lions don't hunt as solo. They hunt in packs.
Yes.
And what you're showing here, and also what Diren was saying, is that partnerships are really important. You
Yes.
find that pharmaceutical companies in Africa will just work in their four walls. There's no partnering going on, strategic partnering. So this is very important. Do you have any comments, questions? Janet, you want to say something?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I have posted my question in the chat box, but it's fine. I can repeat the question. Mine is regarding access to some of those like those guidelines that you mentioned, like the handbook. and that you mentioned. If, for example, you have material like those that could be used by those who need them, are they accessible somewhere free or?
Yeah, Janet, you can talk to me. I have them.
Okay, yes. No,
Yeah,
that's
look,
fine.
it's
And
readily
then the other
available.
question was regarding whether there are any clients from the African continent you're working with on the particularly API issue. Over.
Look, we do have quite a number of clients within in the whole of the continent, and the idea is, I think, to my own personal drive is to sort of have, instead of them just being customers who are calling me and saying, Tunga, can I have XYZ? I would like them to approach and say, Tunga, we are looking at this. Can you help us get to this stage? Can you help us move in this stage, rather than coming to us as a one-stop shop? We need to come. You need to come in and basically, we have way more to offer than just you saying, Tunga, can I have sodium chloride?
Yeah, and these are discussions that we are having, right? Because so I think what we need is that collaboration. And so at TUT, we are setting up this chair that I talked about. In fact, it's set up now. And the whole idea is that some of these things will come in and sit in that place. Unfortunately, COVID does not allow that. But we're already doing online training, by the way. And I was interested in that mRNA part, because the training that we're doing at the moment is biologics, and we are doing that with ICGEB. So it's certainly something that we should do, in the long term, well, in a couple of months. Yeah, we got two hands that are raised, and then we'll go on to, so Charles, and then Dr. Ziada. Charles, go ahead.
Thanks so much, Prof. And thanks, Tunga, for the very informative presentation there. You mentioned 3 centers, formulation centers in Europe, India, and China, I think.
Yes,
where is Africa in all this? Africa is a consumer. We've been hearing about MEC, since I was at university some 30 years ago. And we seem to be just consumers of these raw materials. What is our capacity to do something about this? I know it's a difficult one, but maybe I want to challenge Pharma Connect. Can we set up something in Africa?
We are setting it up. So watch this space. That's why it takes a village to do this. It's a pack of lions. So we want everybody to play their part. And we don't want, governments are partners, but they're not central to this. For things to succeed in Africa, we need private sector driven initiatives like this. So let's do it.
Yes, and just to add to that, David, I think, Charles, what you have raised is quite key. And I think we need both private sector and the different partners within the health sector to drive local formulation or R&D. Then you would have significant use of such centers. Let's take, for example, something like ARVs. I mean, they've been on the open for quite some time. Have we had a local company formulate their own generic? We have a lot of companies manufacturing, but I do not know if we've had a local company over the years formulate their own generic. That is a question maybe that we need to, which, as you say, is difficult to answer, and we'll need a whole lot of stakeholders to come on board and pull along together.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, Ziada, a quick comment.
Yes, very quick comment. What I was going to add to Tunga is that I don't know how well the IMPROVE program has been disseminated to pharmaceutical manufacturing associations, because I think these are the kind of programs that people may not be aware of, but they are actually in need of. So I don't know what their strategy is to actually disseminate this information all over different associations. That's what I wanted to find out from him.
Okay.
Definitely one of my plans and strategy for the region is to partner up with organizations like Pharma Connect, who have the reach and reach out to as many organizations, especially regulatory bodies, as possible, so that we share this information. You give us feedback from where you are, and basically to sort of say at the end of the day, okay, this is where we are as a manufacturer, and this is where we are as a regulatory body, and we come to a common understanding.